those surrounding areas. We have notary for you, mobile notary. We come out to you and we will stamp your documents with care. See Charles Harris. We are LegalShield.com. So definitely too, if you need any help with your your legal needs, especially if you're trying to be a business owner, you're trying to collect money. I'm doing some things with the business right now, patents and all that other fun stuff, legalities with the new affiliation and all that other stuff. So definitely checking all that out. It's a great resource for you to go ahead and get all of that fun stuff done. All right, it's out. The NFL 2025 schedule was released tonight around 8 o'clock, 8:30. So we're going ahead and we're going to get it going. NFL schedule is here for it. Ravens schedule is going ahead and getting squared away. I think that's the back half. Oh, let's go to the front half for the schedule there. So the Ravens 2025 schedule has been released just recently. So this year was kind of all at the same time. Last year I saw a lot of schedule releases early in the afternoon, whatever. There was a few leaks. They announced the first game, but I think the Monday night game, I think the first Thursday night game was announced on the Today Show a couple days ago, etc. But they had pretty much the whole league pretty much this year came out right around 8 o'clock tonight, as far as most of the bulk of the schedule, the full schedule release. So here we go. I was saying it in on Twitter, on social media, that this is what I wanted for the first game. Ravens in Buffalo to go ahead to go back the first Sunday night game on NBC Peacock. Ravens against the Bills, Sunday Night Football. I think this is I love this. Just like last year when they played Kansas City, they was eliminated by the Bills. Very close game in Buffalo at the last minute. They're going to find out right away how good. I think these probably are NBC picked this game. These are probably the two best teams in the AFC right off the bat. The Bills and the Ravens, I think this is going to get them out the way early. Let's see how good this revamped Buffalo team is, etc. So I think it's a great early test for the Ravens. I want to send a message right away, send a statement right away. We're going to see now to the opposite end. The Brownies are week 2, first home game in Baltimore. Seems like they always have these games on the road for whatever reason. They can't ever start at home. Whenever I have a big game like that, they seem to always have a road game. So they're starting at home the following week, M&T Bank Stadium on a Sunday, September 14th against the Browns, 1 o'clock. We have no idea. This could be another case where we see Joe Flacco versus Lamar Jackson. I'm kind of thinking it'll be Joe Flacco for the Browns early in the year. I just think that because I think Shador, Dylan Gabriel, I think they'll wait at least a few weeks to put them in, especially while you bring Joe Flacco in. He's had success with Kevin Stefanski. Certainly good time to catch the Browns. I don't know how good the Browns are going to be later in the year, but certainly here, good time to catch them. 2 very tough games, obviously. But we're really a slate of 4 or 5 really tough games. Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions are really good. I mean, they're not as sexy of a pick as they were last year. Not as much consensus of them winning the NFC, but the Lions are really good. Aiden Hutchinson's back in the fold for them. Goff, I think, has really emerged as one of the best quarterbacks in the NFC. Offensive line, I think, is really good for Detroit. I've been saying that over and over with Detroit's offensive line is very impressive. Ahmad St. Brown, I think, is one of the best receivers in the league. Gibbs, I think, a running back, is outstanding. Their offense is outstanding. They are missing Ben Johnson. That's going to matter. So you lose a coordinator of his caliber. That's going to matter to him as a head coach. We'll see. Can they repair on defense? Good. This is going to be a lot of points in this one. You just got that feeling, especially early defenses and everything are getting themselves together. KC, this is the 4 o'clock game. By the way, Lions was a Monday night game, so definitely. So another first two out of 3 games are primetime games. Featured matchup for sure. The late 4:30 game on CBS here. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get the great Jim Nantz and Tony Romo at the 4:30. The Chefs and the Ravens. 2 really good teams. I'm curious to see how good the Chiefs still are, how good the Chefs still are. Kelsey, probably at the end of his career here. They lost Joe Tooney in the offseason. The group of receivers I think are really good. Mahomes is still really good. Defense is still really good. Would they still have enough to beat the Ravens in Kansas City? I think this is a really still a game the Ravens still want to win. Really, really big statement you can make here if you go into KC and win. So really tough games early. Detroit, Buffalo, and KC early as well. Next two are tough as well. Texans, they've had pretty good success against the Texans and Ravens, frankly. No matter who's the quarterback has been, they're getting in the game at home. I think that matters. CJ Stroud seems to be much better on the road. It's much better at home than he is on the road. So they're coming into Baltimore and have to play. I think so. It'll be fascinating to see how good Texans are. Texans' offensive line, I think, is suspect. I think they'll win that division. It'll be curious to see how good they are outside of the division. So that'll be very, very interesting here. Rams is the next week, 1:00 on Fox. So an early game for a West Coast team coming all the way across country to play in Baltimore at 1:00. So that's about 10 a.m. LA time. One of the games of the year a couple years ago. I mean, none of us are going to forget that outstanding game that they had at M&T Bank Stadium, winning the overtime. Talent-wise, that exciting punt return to actually go ahead and win the game in overtime. Fantastic. So the Rams are coming in. I think the Rams are one of the favorites in the NFC. San Francisco, I think, is not the team that they were. Seattle switching quarterbacks. A lot of issues there. So the Rams coming in, it seems like they get the Rams a lot. But the Rams are coming in to M&T Bank Stadium. Should be favored in that game. But early game, et cetera, as well. Rams are, I think, the new England Patriots in the sense of this is a team I've noticed very few mistakes, very few penalties. This is why they win without great big names at all places. Very disciplined group. Bears, how good are the Bears? So interesting to see. A lot of hype around the Bears. Caleb Williams, the number one pick from a year ago. They bring in the new coach, Ben Johnson. They go ahead, they fix the line. That's kind of what they do. They're going to run the football. We know that. They got Colston Loveland in the draft. They're making the right moves, but is it going to translate on the field to a better football team in a tough division with the Lions and Packers? I think are very interesting to see how that goes. It was the game of the year. They had the game of the year last year against the Commanders as well. So interesting for them to go travel down I-95 here. Miami Dolphins. Two of the greatest of all time that ever. The Dolphins, Don Shula, the great Colts, former Baltimore Colts coach also for the Miami Dolphins. Also to Dan Marino, the history of it as well. So this is the Prime Video game Thursday night, Amazon Prime Video in Miami, home of the great Ray Lewis, former Raven as well. Miami, I think, is a decent football team, but I think decent's about it. They have a decent quarterback. I think Tua Tagovailoa, as long as he's healthy, is a good quarterback. I think their offensive line is very shaky. Their receivers, I think, are really good. They weren't as good last year. They're going to rise and fall in how good Tua Tagovailoa is. Jalen Ramsey's looking for the door. I don't think they're at the Ravens level, but they do have the game at home, short week, a Thursday night game. So that'd be interesting there as well. Vikings. I think I've been getting the Vikings pretty hard for a team that was really good. I'm gonna say they're really good because the Vikings have been hitting them hard. Vikings had the best, very, very close to having the best record in the NFC last season. I think the defense is very, very good. I think they do have all the parts. They did bring back veteran Harrison Smith to come back for one more year. I think defensively, I think they're solid. I do think they have Justin Jefferson, who might be the best receiver, I think, in the entire league, if it's not Jamar Chase. There's a lot right. I don't think they got the right quarterback. I think they're just not. That was just, I don't understand that decision to go ahead and start J.J. McCarthy over Sam Darnold. I'm not sure they would have won as many games this year anyway with Darnold, but certainly without Darnold, I really don't see it. Why they went ahead and did that. A couple more here. Browns on week November 16th and in Cleveland. So this is now where we're getting cold now in Cleveland. You might have some snow here right after Veterans Day in Cleveland. Browns. Wonder who's the quarterback's going to be at that point. At that point, we had Joe Flacco, like week 2. At this point, will we see Shador, Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett at that point? Will it be somebody new? Running backs, how far have they developed? Do they have an elite running game? Offensive line is decent. Defense is not as – there are some parts in Cleveland. So let's see how far they get at this point in the season. Jets, we know this should be a win for the Ravens. I think the Jets Fields, I think if you put it the ranking quarterbacks, maybe 32 of 32. Fields is not – they're going to get some rush yards with him. But I think the Ravens defense is going to have a field day with Justin Field here if it is, and he's probably their best quarterback. So Jets, that'll be interesting right near Thanksgiving. It looks like on Thanksgiving night, we're going to get the Bengals and the Ravens as well. So definitely this could be two out of the next 3 weeks. Here we go with the division games. This could be for the NFC North first place at this point as well. The Ravens seem to get this game a home game on Thursday night with the Bengals. It seems like this has been a lot this year. It is on Thanksgiving. So they are going to go ahead and play the Bengals. I think this could be a key matchup for them to actually win the division. So could this game against the Squealers. So 3 straight home games as well here. Jets, Bengals, Squealers here as Sunday, December 7th. Is it going to be Aaron Rodgers playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers that day? Are we going to have Aaron Rodgers visiting us? Is it going to be Mason Rudolph there? Are they going to have to bring Ben out of the stands? I think that's the only question with Pittsburgh. Not the only team with this issue, but can they get enough on offense as well? Defensively, we know they're going to be really good. So we're not worried about the defense. I think J.J. Watt is still there. They got Hampton. They got Harmon in the draft. Hayward is still there. Fitzpatrick. They'll be fine on defense. They'll be – Mike Tomlin will have that squared away. But can they score? Can they do enough on offense to compete with the Ravens and Lamar Jackson and their high-powered offense? The Bengals have, again so you're going to go to Cincinnati, have the high-powered offense. Can they get enough on defense? That's the question with their I've been picking on the Bengals. Their Achilles heel is twofold. They start slow. They seem to start 0-3, 1-5, 4, and they battle back, and then they don't get in as good a position. And also to defensively, they don't play well. They got to play better on defense. So that's the thing. The Bengals, interesting to see how that goes. Couple more. December 21st, New England. Do not sleep on this one. New England, this might be a team playing for playoff position. So this is the last home game here on the December 21st. New England might be one of the most improved teams in the league. They had a lot of cap space last year. Drake May, I think, is developing. They went out and signed a bunch of guys on defense. They spent some of that money. They have a much better coach in Mike Vrabel. So interesting to see how they do. I think, too, in that division, room to move. Dolphins, I'm not so sure. Jets, I'm definitely sure that they're not great. So they probably won't win the division because Buffalo's in it. Buffalo's really good. But I definitely think this would be – I think, like, looking at it from 50,000 feet, well, the Patriots weren't very good. But no. I think this could be a team that's going to give you a lot of trouble. We know the Packers are going to be a good team. Packers always are. Especially late game in this year. I mean, definitely this is going to be the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field, as historically said. You're playing in Green Bay in December, so expect snow, expect cold weather. I'm actually kind of liking to see this for Lamar. If there is something I do think he has an issue with, is playing in cold weather. So the last 2 weeks here, he's going to get his shot. He's going to play in cold weather spot in Green Bay. He's going to get to play his cold weather in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, the last game is scheduled for Sunday, January 4th. It could be the 3rd. The last week games, they do all division games all across the league. So they're doing that so to generate a situation where you might have a winner take all, a play in, whatever. Teams are not just phoning it in because they're playing division games. Division games are more meaningful. Also, too, last week as well. Uh, Certainly playing in Pittsburgh as well, but this is also an opportunity to again play in cold weather. Now, hopefully, like last year, like a couple of years, we had the division all wrapped up, the just resting players. But it'd be interesting to see when that game is. Also, to schedule a date to reserve the right to move all the games. It might be a Sunday night game. It might be a Saturday. Last couple of years, they had a Saturday. We don't know. So Sunday, January 4th, most likely is the date for the last game. So now we know the schedule of the Ravens is there. So there you go. So glad it's here. Now we know when the Ravens are going to play, where they're going to play, who they're going to be playing, what networks they're going to be playing on as well. Going to first game Sunday night is in Buffalo. I was wanting that. Obviously, Kansas City on the road. You're getting that early. A team you might see in the Super Bowl if you get that far. The Rams early. So if you're going to go ahead and play a lot of these games, you're going to see these teams early. Detroit early. Again, a team you might see in the Super Bowl. So they're getting a chance to look at teams they might have to play in the Super Bowl in September. So it have to be on point because you're playing a lot of tough games in September. But it'll be interesting to get a lot of that out of the way early in the season as well. So there you go. So now we know. That was at the end of, what was that? Reading Rainbow and knowing, G.I. Joe. Knowing is half the battle. G.I. All right. Haven't played this in a while, so let's go ahead and cue it up.
Yeah, we're good. We have ice for us. Hey, Dante, fan left for me.
The big five biggest games in honor of the schedule coming out. 5 biggest games of the year on the schedule. So let's go ahead and go over the 5 biggest games, not just non-Raven games of the entire season that I'm most looking forward to. Bills and the Chefs. So I think this is very big here. I do believe there is some slippage for the Chefs this year. They should be still really good. I still think they're in the playoffs, but the Bills are kind of in the Ravens' same situation with not being able to get over the hump with a really good team like the Chefs. So can they go into Kansas City, kind of like the Ravens are going to get the same shot? So this is going to be on November 2nd, where they are going to know. We're going to know about Kansas City at that point. You're going to know a lot about Buffalo. I think Buffalo and the Ravens are probably the shortest bet to be really, really good teams in the league. So we're going to know how good Kansas City is. Are they going to be in the same spot? Are they going to be playing for the division? Can they still beat Buffalo? So it'll be interesting to see that there as well. The Lions and the Eagles. Definitely one I personally was hoping for would be the first Monday night game. I think could be the 2 best teams in the entire NFC. The Detroit Lions. Lions, I think, are going to be less talked about, I think, in terms of national media as well. But I do think they are going to be really good. So this is going to be November 16th. This is going to be a Sunday night game. Of course it is, because it is 2 of the better teams in the NFL. Lions, Eagles, we know how good they are. They won the Super Bowl last year. Can they maintain without the Super Bowl hangover? Sometimes teams win the Super Bowl. Maybe they're a little less hungry, a little less pep in their step, etc. We will see what the Eagles go. This could be a big revenge game here. So the Packers and the Squealers are going to play. I'd be surprised. Obviously, Lester is off this game. If by some miracle that the Aaron Rodgers does not sign with the Aaron Rodgers for whatever reason does not sign with the pack with the Squealers, I think we all believe that Aaron Rodgers is going to sign with them at some point. So this is October 26th, the Sunday night game. So I think NBC believes like he's going to sign there as well. This would be the first time Aaron Rodgers going against his former team on against Jordan Love, the guy who replaced him as well, going against Matt LaFleur. I kind of only hope this game was in Green Bay to go ahead and check it out. But I think this will be huge. Also, not just that storyline as well. Two of I think the better teams possibly in the NFL. Steelers, I think maybe they're a playoff team if they can get Aaron Rodgers and get in. Packers, I think, trying to show they can be more than just I think they're a good solid playoff team. So again, late in the year, it could be a game that really has a lot of meaning as well. This one, I think, is pretty obvious. The Eagles and the Chiefs, the two teams last year in the Super Bowl as well. So Eagles, I think they're the favorites going into the season as well in the NFC. Commanders, I think, are going to be fighting with them as well to be one of the better teams in the NFL.
Yeah. There's no point in getting rid of one and having the other two.
They're fighting for position. Sorry about that. Fighting for position in the NFL as well. And so they're going to be playing the Eagles here very early in the season. So you're going to get this game week two, September 14th in Arrowhead. So again, Chiefs, tough home. It seems like they're getting these games at home too. Like they're getting the Eagles at home, the Bills at home, the Ravens at home. Maybe three of the best teams in the league. So they're going to get an opportunity to prove me wrong and to prove a lot of fans wrong that they are still the better team in the ESL. So great early test for them as well. And I think this is the two teams that are ascending here or could be ascending as we go forward. The Houston Texans and the LA Rams. So some of y'all might think this one is a little, but I think one of these two teams has the opportunity this season to really move into the category of being one of the elite teams. So this is a week one game. So Houston actually week one actually going out to SoFi. SoFi, I think, is one of the coolest stadiums in the entire NFL. And I think this is a game there that I think it's very possible that one of these two teams could be elite. I don't know that. But I think the Texans certainly have a shot. They definitely have some issues. The Rams certainly have a shot. Can they overcome their issues as well? Really interested to see, especially in this week one game, the unveiling of the Davante Adams as a Los Angeles Ram. So very interesting to see. So there you go. Five biggest games on the schedule of the whole schedule for the NFL, the National Football League. So definitely check that out as well. Two biggest games in the National Football League, five biggest games rather, in the National Football League schedule as well. Guess at this point you can't call it breaking news. I see some people use the breaking news at all points. Damn. Derrick Henry today signed a deal with the Ravens as well. So his contract was set to end at the end of last year. At the end of this coming year, he did sign a 2-year extension. So the Ravens actually did go ahead and sign up another year. So I think this is very, very good for him as well, because gives him the opportunity. It's good for him because he gets more money, right? So he gets a larger contract, gets to continue on as the Ravens. I think it's good for the Baltimore Ravens because what happens with him. He gets the opportunity to. They don't have to haggle next season if he goes ahead and has an outstanding season, and going ahead and worrying about his contract, worrying about having the price, worrying about going in the draft. So it gives the team more flexibility with him to go ahead and get that taken care of. So Derrick Henry, shout out Derrick Henry, getting a new deal with the Ravens and getting that taken care of. Darius Washington, heartbreaking news. Apparently he tore his Achilles in practice or in the field or in drills. I think it could have been even drills. So Darius I don't think he was even needed to be at the rookie camp, but he was there working out. And so Darius we're not going to have him most likely for the entire 2025 season. Heartbreaking. Darius was out. I think switching to a Darius last year was one of the biggest moves that the team made as far as getting the defense going. The pass defense was struggling all year until they actually got Darius Washington in there. So as well. So heartbreaking for Darius. Chuck Clark is out there. Names like Justin Simmons. Will they just stand back? Will they give more time for Bo Brace, Sesame Kane? Are they going to have that philosophy? Good thing they did, as we feel for Darius, it's a good thing they did draft Malachi Starks. So it almost felt like, in some ways, they were drafting like less of a need. You never know. NFL, not for long. It became a need real quick because you don't have a Darius now all season. So interesting to see what happens there. Heartbreaking, but I just felt terrible for Darius. Darius really was working like a grinder, guy who had to work his way into playing time, work his way into that position, and to see him get hurt in a minicamp is just terrible.